One interesting aspect of today's movie business is how actors fight for billing, whose name goes first on the marquee, or nowadays even more complicated, whose name goes on what level. One example is the ads last year for Ishtar with its staircase billing for Warren Beatty, Isabella Gianni, and Dustin Hoffman. But while some actors fight for billing, have you noticed some others seem to be battling to get no billing at all? One example, Jack Nicholson. Right now, he's very prominent and prominently billed in the new movie Ironweed with Meryl Streep. But at the same time, he's also prominent in another new movie, Broadcast News, in which he gets no billing at all. In Broadcast News, Jack Nicholson plays a version of Walter Cronkite, a very big league, big-time network newscaster. But you won't see his name in any of the ads for the movie. You only see the names of William Hurt, Albert Brooks, and Holly Hunter. Now, this isn't the first time that Nicholson has played a supporting role. He also played small roles in Reds and Terms of Endearment. But this is the first time he's worked without billing. And why did he do it? Well, probably because the role is small but juicy. Probably also because Broadcast News was written, produced, and directed by James L. Brooks, the man who directed Nicholson into his second Oscar for that small role in Terms of Endearment. But Nicholson didn't want to give the public the impression that Broadcast News was a Jack Nicholson movie. It's a William Hurt movie. So, no billing for Jack. Now, he's not the first star to go incognito in a movie. In Woody Allen's Radio Days, Diane Keaton showed up unexpectedly and without billing. She didn't have dialogue in the movie, just a song. But the song wrapped up that movie, if you remember, and Diane also got a chance to sing on film, which she's always wanted to do. And she also got a chance to work again with her old mentor, Woody Allen. And oh yes, there were also a couple of other names who showed up in that same movie, Radio Days, without their usual billing, Jeff Daniels and Tony Roberts. Now, these unbilled appearances have occurred in movies for years, but usually as just small gag appearances. I mean, Bing Crosby was always popping up in a Bob Hope film just in time to walk off with the leading lady. Or Elizabeth Taylor doing a walk-on without billing in the movie Anne of the Thousand Days, which starred her husband at the time, Richard Burton. But sometimes the visit went far beyond a mere drop-in. In Bob Hope's 1955 movie The Seven Little Foys, about vaudevillian Eddie Foy, James Cagney made a major contribution. Cagney recreated his own Oscar-winning role as Broadway legend George M. Cohan, and he did a major dance number with Bob Hope in the movie. Now, it took weeks to rehearse and to film, but Cagney not only refused billing, but even refused to take a dime for it. He told Bob Hope, "Any Cohan part is worth the effort." And so it's happened through the years. Some of our most prominent names have played juicy roles, large and small, in films, but you won't see them credited necessarily in ads, in TV Guide, or when the credits roll. Now, why, when actors live and die and sometimes cut throats for good billing, why do they sometimes work without the credit? Well, for every appearance, there's a different reason. Sometimes it's because the role is too tempting to refuse, but the star would rather take no billing than low billing. Sometimes it's done just for fun. Sometimes it's for a reason rarely publicized in Hollywood, friendship. But whatever the reason, don't be surprised to find a Jack Nicholson popping up in a movie like Broadcast News, or anyone popping up in anything for that matter. Just as you could never judge a book by its cover, no longer can you know a cast by the billing. The movies are proving that more and more these days. I'm Robert Osborne for The Heart of Hollywood.
Charles Bronson has a new assignment.
You're not getting the president to protect. You get one mama.
The First Lady?
Jill Ireland.
She's a very difficult woman and a bad influence on the president.
She's tough.
It's my belief that somebody just tried to kill you.
That's ridiculous.
But he's tougher.
It's not safe to sit up that high. If you don't get down, I'll have to pull you down.
It's not easy protecting the First Lady. Especially when someone's out to kill her.
This is fake, Charlie.
Treason?
$1 million is a lot of money for near misses.
Terror is a very expensive game.
It's a thankless job.
I suppose you'd like an apology.
But someone's got to do it.
Horoscope said it was going to be a rotten day.
Assassination on the Movie Channel.
Coming soon.
What really happened to William McCauley?
He went in his sleep.
peacefully.
Did Ben Dummers have to die?
They died in their sleep. They stopped breathing.
Did they die because of a woman?
Complex series of seductions and murders, that's not something you see a woman do.
A seductress who's compelled to kill?
Which part you figure a woman isn't up to, the seduction or the murder?
Or was it just coincidence?
I loved every one of them. Deeply. Honestly.
Now, time is running out for another victim.
Black Widow. She mates and she kills.
Or is there no killer after all?
You are just looking for a reason to kiss this off because you don't have the stomach for it.
She's obsessed with killing, and you're obsessed with her.
Deborah Winger and Teresa Russell star in Black Widow on the Movie Channel.
Coming soon.
Thursday night, you're watching the Movie Channel. Hi, I'm Robert Osborne, and you are just in time for this week's edition of our Critics 10 Best series, Crimes of the Heart, starring Jessica Lange, Diane Keaton, and Sissy Spacek. And then at 1, we've got Lynn Redgrave as the happy hooker. You know, Jessica Lange had to work very hard to recover from her, well, kind of disastrous debut in the 1976 remake of King Kong. She had to live that down. But in the 10 years that followed, she's more than made up for it. She's created quite a repertoire, from the remake of The Postman Always Rings Twice to Frances to Tootsie. And she told us that her passion for acting started way back when she was 8 years old and she did her own version of Gone with the Wind.
Well, my favorite one was Melanie's death scene. So I used to, especially, I remember one summer I had the chicken pox, so I really worked it out good because I couldn't do anything. So I'd lay on the couch for hours, and I'd pretend I was Mellie, and I'd do her lines, and then I'd sit up and I'd do Scarlett's lines. And by the end, I'd be just weeping. I'd have gotten myself so I got so overwhelmed by the emotion.
Well, there's plenty of laughter and emotion to go around in the next film. Crimes of the Heart is playwright Beth Henley's acclaimed story of 3 eccentric sisters. And all 3 sisters are played by 3 Oscar-winning actresses, Diane Keaton, Jessica Lange, and Sissy Spacek. It's all Crimes of the Heart. Watch it now, rated PG-13.
In an ongoing series, the Movie Channel presents Critics 10 Best, featuring a critically acclaimed motion picture every Thursday night. In Sid and Nancy, director Alex Cox plunges into the sordid and violent underworld of the legendary punk rocker Sid Vicious.
He has a Sex Pistol. All your human needs are seen to.
Sid and Nancy is a dynamic piece of work, the definitive pick on the punk phenomenon. It brims with a rough, undersided edge. Sid and Nancy, a Critics 10 Best on the Movie Channel.
1 week from tonight.
This is the Movie Channel. All movies 24 hours a day. The heart of Hollywood beats on with the bawdy bedroom adventures of that internationally famous lady of the night, Xaviera Hollander. Lynn Redgrave stars as the happy hooker, next on the Movie Channel.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All tellers away from the counter. Let me see your hands. Down on the floor.
They were public enemies.
Still know who we are, know why we're here, so let's get on with it.
They were national heroes.
It's about time someone stood up against that banking system.
I bond and burn their mortgage documents.
We have reports of bank customers clapping and cheering.
They won the hearts of the people.
He's helping the poor folks out.
And the wrath of the entire justice system.
I'm gonna get it.
You're enjoying this, aren't you?
Emilio Estevez.
Pretty wild, huh?
Demi Moore.
Pretty wild.
Wisdom on the Movie Channel.
Saturday.
further shipments of plutonium should be by military convoy.
General, the purpose of this operation is to flush out the terrorists.
Why don't you use a decoy?
I think I've got just the guy for the next run. Charlie Morrison.
What the hell are you moving? A mountain of gold?
Good as. Plutonium.
I thought that was the Army's job.
We're setting a trap, Charlie, and you are the bait.
When the stakes are this high, everything's got to be perfect.
Just make sure it works.
They've got to be ready for every challenge.
Here's number one.
I know one thing for sure. There's more of those clowns out there somewhere.
The battle has just begun.
Hit number four.
You ain't seen nothing yet, son.
Forrest Tucker's up against an army of terrorists in Thunder Run on the Movie Channel.
Sunday.
Hello, I'm Robert Osborne, and welcome to the Heart of Hollywood. James Woods has risen to the top of his profession through a series of very compelling and highly acclaimed roles and great performances. In fact, his recent role in Salvador earned him an Academy Award nomination. His great performance in the TV drama Promise won him an Emmy last year. James Harris is a producer, writer, director who began his career producing Stanley Kubrick's first three movies, The Killing, Paths of Glory, and Lolita. Well, together, James Woods and James Harris make quite a combo. They first worked together in 1980 on a film called Fast Walking. Harris wrote and directed that project. James Woods starred in it. And recently, Harris found another vehicle for another collaboration, a book which he adapted for film. Woods and Harris decided to form a production company and make this film their first co-production. The film is called Cop, and it stars James Woods, along with Charles Durning, Leslie Ann Warren, and Charles Hayde from Hill Street Blues.
It's him. It's Camaro. It's gotta be him. Two in the front?
I don't know.
No, it has two. They're not getting out. Come on, let's take them.
Okay.
Want to be the drunk?
I'll be the drunk.
Okay, get your old name. All right. Huh? Yeah. Well, that's the Singapore slings. That's your problem.
Oh, my wife is mad at me.
Yeah, I'll tell you wait for a bowling, all right? Just thought we were bowling.
Okay. Let me take the driver. You got it. Set? Now. Nice guy. In the business.
Please, don't move me, you're dead. Put your hands on the dashboard. You two, sweetheart, get him on the dashboard.
What the hell's going on? It's crazy.
What's your Mexican accent, pal? You only use it in bars?
And I'm going to open this door real slow, and you're going to get out real slow. You got that?
I got it.
Okay, move.
On this particular film, I'm wearing three hats, you might say, but they are worn at different times, which makes it a bit easier than one would imagine. Having written the screenplay some time ago, there's nothing really required at this point other than minor adjustments as you're making the film, which of course always exist. Producing the film, which I'm getting a lot of help from Jimmy Woods, he's also producing with me, but the main thrust and the main energy that has to be put forth now is directing the film, which of course I find to be the most difficult. Directing a film is really like 75% casting. You cast the right people in a film and most of your work is done for you. If you have a script that plays, the rest is quite simple, actually. You surround yourself with people who know all about the nuts and bolts of filmmaking, and you get these kind of actors together with a script that works, and you can actually enjoy standing around and dealing in dynamics by just lowering and raising the intensity of the scenes, if hopefully you have the taste to tell the difference.
The story, it's about a serial murderer who seems to be picking on women, and there's a connection with feminists. So, of course, our hero happens to be about the biggest male chauvinist pig you could ever imagine, which I say tongue-in-cheek, but he's not exactly known for his reverence for Gloria Steinem, let us say. And his key to the crime happens to be a very sort of charmingly neurotic feminist poet She's the connection to the information that will lead to the unraveling of this horrific series of serial murders of these various women. So, of course, automatically you have a kind of loaded situation of male chauvinist meets super feminist, and they have to work together to solve this crime.
I hope you don't mind, but I asked Sergeant Hopkins to join us. He's got something to say to you.
I'm returning your diary. If it's any consolation, I didn't read it. It's never been opened. And I would like to extend my apologies.
Do you really think after what you did, I'd be willing to help you?
Kathleen, you'll be helping yourself. But we're convinced the mass murderer is the one who's been sending you the flowers.
Oh, Christ! This is ridiculous. He's a gentle, tender man who's capable of hurting anyone.
You have, believe me, no idea what this man is capable of. This character is an extremely good cop, and he has extremely good instincts, which of course gets him in trouble because his commander is a born-again, sort of rigid, kind of right-wing type who doesn't believe in hunches and doesn't believe in exposing the department to great publicity on a whim, or what he considers a whim. But Hopkins, of course, has that unerring instinct that cops have to sort of find the truth of a situation, get down to the bottom of it. Sir, as you know, I've been working full-time on the Niemeyer killing.
Yes, and?
And, well, sir, so far it's a stone-cold washout.
Then stick with it. I have faith in you.
Thank you, sir. It's funny you mentioned that word, faith. I say that because this case has been a testing of my own meager faith. I mean, I've never, as you can probably well imagine, been much of a believer in God, sir, but the way I've been stumbling on certain kinds of evidence in this case has me questioning my beliefs.
Hopkins, I go to church on Sunday and to prayer meetings 3 times a week, but when I put on my holster, I put God out of my mind. You want something, you tell me what it is and stop all the bullshit.
Right. Being a producer is, it's very grueling, but I had a built-in asset in that respect as a producer because there were a lot of people who were willing to, you know, we always wanted to work together, and they were willing to make accommodations considering that this is an independent, low-budget feature. And we were very appreciative of that, of course, because we were actually able to make a picture that is going to have a tremendous amount of production value and really superb performances. Basically, I'm here to check on some homicides that took place a few years back. You know, looking over the files, I noticed that you came across a stiff back in '78 wrist slash job, woman in Westbourne. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, my partner and I got an unknown trouble spot from the desk, and some old bag was complaining about this stiff's radio blasting, so we went down and...
You found another suicide in your own building the very next year. That's right, isn't it, Whitey?
Yeah, I sure did.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it got messed up by the gas, so they had to detox me at the hospital, but they gave me a commendation, you know, Deputy of the Month, and they put my picture up on this
both
board.
these women killed themselves on June 10th. Doesn't that strike you as a strange coincidence?
I'm Robert Osborne for The Heart of Hollywood. Join us this month and every month for more interviews and more behind-the-scenes stories only on the Movie Channel.
The Movie Channel presents the Hollywood Classic of the Week, featuring the 1970 black comedy Catch-22. Directed by Mike Nichols from the Joseph Heller novel, Catch-22 takes a surreal look at Army life in World War II.
You don't make any sense. You don't even know who you hate. Got a persecution call.
You're damn right I am.
You admit it.
I admit I'm being persecuted.
Yeah, by whom? By them. But who specifically is them? Every one of them. Every one of who? Every one of who do you think? I have any idea. Then how do you know they aren't? That's sheer, what do you call it?
Sophistry.
Right, sophistry. Like hell it is, McWatt. Those bastards are trying to kill me.
No one's trying to kill you, sweetheart. Now, you desert like a good boy.
Oh, yeah? Then why are they shooting at me, Milo? They're shooting at everyone, you Saurian. And what difference does that make? Look, you Saurian, just suppose everyone thought the same way you do. Then I'd be a damn fool to think any different. You know what you ought to do? You ought to have your head examined.
Catch-22, a Hollywood Classic of the Week on the Movie Channel.
Monday. Charles Bronson has a new assignment.
You're not getting the president to protect. You got one mama.
The First Lady, Jill Ireland.
She's a very difficult woman and a bad influence on the president.
She's tough.
It's my belief that somebody just tried to kill you.
That's ridiculous.
But he's tougher.
It's not safe to sit up that high.
you don't get down, I'll have to pull you down. It's not easy protecting the First Lady. Especially when someone's out to kill her.
This is big, Charlie.
Treason?
$1 million is a lot of money for near misses.
Terror is a very expensive game.
It's a thankless job.
Well, I suppose you'd like an apology.
But someone's got to do it.
Horoscope said it was going to be a rotten day.
Assassination on the Movie Channel.
Coming soon.
What really happened to William McCauley?
He went in his sleep so peacefully.
Did Ben Dummers have to die?
They died in their sleep. They stopped breathing.
Did they die because of a woman?
Complex series of seductions and murders, that's not something you see a woman do.
A seductress who's compelled to kill?
Which part you figure a woman isn't up to, the seduction or the murder?
Or was it just coincidence?
I loved every one of them. Deeply. Honestly.
Now, time is running out for another victim.
Black Widow. She mates and she kills.
Or is there no killer after all?
You are just looking for a reason to kiss this off because you don't have the stomach for it.
She's obsessed with killing and you're obsessed with her.
Deborah Winger and Teresa Russell star in Black Widow on the Movie Channel.
Coming soon.
This is the Movie Channel's feature presentation. This film has been rated R by the Motion Picture Association of America.